Good morning, everyone. Thank you for the invitations in the lecture series. Thank you so much, the Shankar Eye Foundation India, to invite me, one of the guest lecturer in this whole lecture series. Myself, Ashish Das, working as an assistant professor in Department of Occupational Therapy, Manipal College of Health Professions, Manipal. I start with my lectures by wishing you a happy World Down Syndrome Day. And across the world, groups, many professionals working in for the appropriate development or the appropriate behavior in the schools or school participations. So among the many healthcare professions, occupational therapist is one of them. So occupational therapy in the previous lecture might be you heard about what is the role of occupational therapy for the Down syndrome. But I'm particularly talking about the role of occupational therapy in school setting. Okay. When you're talking about the child's in a school, occupation therapist is specifically working very closely with the other healthcare professionals, special educators, okay, counselor or the head class head who are closely associated with the child. Okay, we work mostly for the child's developmental milestones, whether it's a gross motor, fine motor, cognitive abilities, emotional abilities, or social skills. Okay, so all the developmental milestones occupation therapy especially take care. Occupational therapy, from the name itself, we are the professionals who help the children to achieve their throughout the whole routine or the whole time occupy appropriately. So among them various activities, occupying various activities, one of them is daily living skills. So daily living skills, sometimes the questions why daily living skills in schools is usually assumed that daily living skill at the home, but not always. Daily living skills also be some part of executed in the school, like having snacks or the meal in a day meal at the school, or maybe go to the washrooms, undress themselves, having the toileting at their school premises. So this also a daily living skill should be done at schools, so that many children also facing challenges in there. As an occupational therapist, when I said the childs occupy their time and space, and that is the major occupational therapist role to help them in a physical, more social, fine motor, sensory, in all the aspect they have to be take care, and the better participation in various activities. So when I said so various activities, so play is one of the one activities. So play, during play, many children are facing many challenges across whether it's any kind of sort of the skills. Okay? The OTs are help them to make better play behavior and the play skills so that they can participate better with their playmates. Many children with the Down syndrome have the difficulty in the gross motor or fine motors, sometimes at academic level, visual perceptions, and many other sort of the issues. Okay, so they have. If I consider in the low, in the gross motor or fine motor, they have the in the medical aspect. If you look, they have the low tone. They have the very easily tired. Okay, so they have the in that is consequently what happened. They have difficulty in various skills, okay, achievement, whether it's a bilateral coordination between the two hand together and do some activities. Okay. If you look at the fine motors activities, is very sometimes children will have feel difficulties with tripod grasp, right legibility, because of the some sort of the tonal issues, low tone, and that's why there's sometimes difficulty in producing the appropriate strength coordinations between the limb and between the whole the both the sides together. So we focus on the readiness of the child in terms of the fine motor, visual perception, look at the screen to perceive how the letter look like. Okay, sometimes the children have the some sort of difficulties. We also see the Down syndrome sometimes is comorbid with other conditions. Okay, so sometimes they also be shown some sensory issues. Okay, So even though when I in my whole in practice, sometime I found the Down syndrome also show some sensory issues such as the gravitational insecurity. They have feel very much difficult to jump around, jump from the height, okay, swings. Okay. They'll have a lot of fear from the height. Okay, that's one of the example I gave. But then you can see across the other sort of the sensory processing also you can see. When we say the difficulty in motor planning, okay, or executing, so so that's also be sometimes is the intellectual level also be affected. So in combination, if you look at it, so as an occupational therapy, taking care of all the aspect and make sure the child will able to do gain the appropriate skills, so that the child will be enter into the mainstream skills. So as an OT, we are specifically target the better occupation and the school setting. So along with the teachers or the healthcare profession is not enough. So I believe the without parents' help, it cannot be possible. Okay. So many times what the happen, the childs need to revise revisions. The lot of the home assignments usually children got from the teachers. Okay, and I believe many children also be get more motivated and more like can be able to participate in various play behavioral skills if the parents also involved in it. Okay, and it should be sometime we expect it should be start from the home. Okay, so the holistic approach will be built. So the child will be in taking care from all the people, and when we include the parent in the intervention process, everybody on the same page. Okay, so the parenting styles sometimes also like we are living right now in a nuclear family. So and even though sometimes also in the new generation, parents are both are working together. So sometimes what happened, the appropriate parenting is sometimes we are not able to. Uh, uh, excuse me. Just a minute, please. Sorry for the gap. Okay. So if I go ahead, sorry for the gap. I just in the presentation is I'm talking about the parenting and parenting styles. So barrier-free environment. Another is factor is the barrier-free environment. When you look at the some children have the sometimes very much difficulty in visual perception. Sometimes they have the difficulty to walk in the like environment where the stairs are quite big. Sometimes they also be feel difficulty in color differences. Some children also be feel difficulty is in the like kind of water kind of surface. So make we as an occupation therapy also evaluate the whole schools and make sure the child is across the any kind of disability. We have to be take care. Okay, the children with the Down syndrome also some sort of comorbid with other conditions. Okay, so we'll also mainly taking care of that aspect. Ultimately is advocacy and social security. So sometimes occupational therapists also educate, or sometimes also many times we felt the children, the school teacher who are taking care, or sometimes the referral therapist or the sometimes assessment or for the documentation purpose. So many times they misinterpret or stigma. Okay, not to diagnose or label. Okay, so that stigma sometimes is difficulty to, or maybe this stigma is that maybe the child is have not enough capable to be in the mainstream schools. Sometimes there's stigma that the children with kind of sort of any kind of sort of the Down syndrome or any sort of others, the stigma that may not be able to competent enough to participate in regular school activities. So as an occupational therapist, we provide appropriate assessment related to all the different dimensions, whether it's a developmental aspect, whether it's a school aspect, whether it's a environmental aspect, whether it's a teacher education related aspect. We make sure that we will evaluate the child's all the domains, okay, and we make sure that we give the appropriate support system from the government, educate them. Like for example, many kind of like schemes are there, so we make sure that give them appropriate knowledge to the parents to get the benefit as much as possible. Okay, so we advocate by giving the assessment, by giving the appropriate directions or referral to the person, so that they can get the maximum benefit out of it. Pre-vocational training is the one of the also component where the childs with the Down syndrome enter from the child to the adolescence area. Many children, so when they approach to the adolescence and towards the enter into the transition of adult, they need to be a sort of the pre-vocational training. Okay. So pre-vocational training, like it's depend on the child's interest. So we find out what are the child's ability and their interest they have, and as an occupational therapist, we help them to explore those different area of the pre-vocations activities, so that they can be excel in that area, and later on they can be choose other career in that. Okay. So occupational therapists, as we till now I discusses many aspect. I talk about we give the lot of evaluations at the schools, lot of assessment based on the standardized, non-standardized. Whether it's a parent interview we do, we also will look at the play-based interactions and then see whether it's there current fine motor, visual perception, oromotor skills, whether it is a sensory motor ability or sensory processing skills, uh, cognitive abilities, peer relationship, and the academic competences enough or not. So in all various aspects, we do the evaluations and give a report to the parents as well as the school teacher, and as a whole team, we work towards the child. Come to the OT, we provide the various interventions, okay, relate to fine motors, handwriting skills. Sometimes I said about the child have the sensory issues, or some difficulty to have the poor body awareness. Okay, so that lead to be difficulty, confusion, left right. Sometimes they are mixed their preference. Okay, so that body awareness is also be one of the intervention we give. Sometimes children's eyesight is have the difficulty to paying attention. So whether it's a cognitive, whether it's a sensory, so difficult. So we also have give the activities which is improve the attention skills. You observe that many children have the little bit kind of like low arousal. Okay, parents are feel that it's always be lazy like that, but always not that, because the system then inside the mind or system's brain is a little bit low aroused. So in the therapy, in occupational therapy, we provide the various activities which is we give them higher, increase the arousal level. As well as the sensory processing, I already explained about the various sensory. With that one last example I gave, if the sensory processing have difficult, so even the a child relate to height, relate to movement, child gets scared. So same thing, child also be feel difficult to manipulate because of the your touch, the joints have not able to process appropriately, so they have to manipulate the hand also feel difficult. So all are considered in the under the component of the sensory processing. So this is one of the my favorite ideas or favorite kind of the concept where I wholly work. My whole intervention will be focused on it. So as a human, we always be focus on focus most of the therapists or the most of the professionals. Sometimes even though we're aware of all of the component, but still mostly we work on the just skill development. But I believe if we work on the child within a holistic approach, okay, by thinking, by increase the cognitive awareness of those of the particular activities, by putting all your effort in the whole emotions, okay, in the whole activities, okay, so the child will be also be produce more creative tasks, okay. So I believe that the mind, body, and the heart will be put in the whole activity design on the child, even though for the intervention perspective or even the therapist perspective, though the child will be gain more. In the intervention, so if I look at as the body, so some many various activities we will give them age appropriately. Sometimes children are delayed in their development, okay, Down syndrome children. So because of uh, the low tone, they have the low strength. They also have the affected in their balance coordinations. So they have let us slow down in their developmental milestones. So we give them various activities is related to achieve their gross motor and bilateral activities. Like for example, like climbing or the making balance, various activities you can be observed here like different items tools are used to improve the balance or the coordination skills. Fine motor skills is one of the one component when we provide the various activities and then collaborate with the teachers and find out what the challenges they have. If the child has difficulty to grip or maybe sensory awareness, we provide a lot of different type of activities, whether it's a gripper or you can be see here the gripper will be help to more sensory awareness around the fingers and child will be able to much more effectively grip that pencils. Even though you can see the various strategy we give them, trace over it, maybe the color coding, okay, maybe even the grip is very simple one. Here I presenting different styles of grip are also available based on the child's requirement or the positioning. Sometimes child is not able to like place it in a tripod design. So the different design of the gripper also available based on the evaluation we provide them. Okay. We also like give the various activities so that their grip system will be more functioning, such as the grippers, such as the beats, even the scissor based activities, and it's all are graded. You can see the lot of pictures here I shown, like the clay-based activities, like clean a clay, lot of like fine motor-based skills will be improved. Whether it's a press or the tripod, whether it's a pinch, whether it's a pin roll, lot of fine motor skills will be improved from this. In the play times where in a recess or sometimes they have the play time zone, so we collaborate with the teachers and whether it's a therapist or the teacher can also like um, to introduce those activity where the child will be more improved in those particular skills. So in some activity which is we improve the eye hand coordination like ball catch and throw, okay, maybe series of the sequence of throw, whether it's a cricket, whether it's a football, which is lot of activities which has helped them to improve the eye-hand coordination. And all will be sort will be based on the child's levels. All will be evaluated based on child's level. Next, one of my best way of doing those interventions is all fine motor. I usually go for the art and craft. You can see the most lovely, funny pictures. Okay, the child will be engaged in the lot of the art and craft activities, but that not only improve the kind of like the fine motor task, is also improve the lot of cognitive thing, the self body awareness, which is I said before, that it improve the self awareness of the left and right, body position, body part identifications, that will improve sense of self, that's like emotional and psychological perspective also. Child also will be able to express themselves. If you see the many children with the Down syndrome have a lot of emotional disbalance. Sometimes they are very moody. I believe them very moody they are. Sometimes they irritate easily. They have frustrate easily. They give off. So different kind of emotional expressions or social stories, they will be express their thing, and then through there they will be understands other point of view. So the various tasks, like whether it's through play, through creative art and craft, we are able to express even the awareness of the place and time. So this all the activity will be not only improve the fine motor when you're doing, it is improve the lot of the cognitive skills. Okay. So this one is all thing is collaborate with the teachers and help them to know how to make a better IEP, the individual education program, which component or which skills they should be target more often to improve that skills. You can see this is the more fun craft based activity where we all these items which is can be recycled and then more creative. So creative is when the child is doing, not only just fine motor improve, a lot of the cognitive skills also be improved. So in a schools, we will again collaborate with the teachers. Sometimes they also have the like art and class. Specifically, they have this particular sections. There also children can be expressed. Okay, their feelings. Sometimes all the education can be done in a whole in the classroom, different through this various setups. Like whether it's a number thing or whether it's a um, whether it's a count or whether it's a subtract. Sometimes also we go for the play based with an addition of subtraction by doing the money like kind of like fake currency. That is again we played with them. These are the few examples where you can create those art and craft, but ultimately child will be improve the problem solving skills. Okay, to this task. And by ending the whole my lecture series, lectures slides. So with this, one of the point is ADLs in schools. So when we do the ADLs training at the schools, we not only encourage the teachers or make them more independent in their respective the challenges in the ADLs, whether it's a self-eating, whether it's a dressing, zipping, unzipping, whether it's is a drinking water, whether it's to wash their hands, whether go to the washrooms, okay, independently. So this all these aerial tasks will sometimes the child will not do a test touch on everything together. So we also we do the lot of task analysis. So which component of the one particular task is the child more challenging? That will be have to be we are taking care, train them, we train them, make the skills that should be strengthened enough, and child was able to do the whole task at the by the under various supervision level of steps, various supervision level. Sometimes they need the physical assistance of the one component of the task. So we are great initially we give them support with the physical, some later on give them the more verbal cues, later on just the cues with the like kind of non-verbal signs. Okay, and next again just to next to stand by. Okay, and then next time is just to be supervised, are they doing or not. Next time we just leave them and then see at the end product is complete or not. In that way, we make sure the child will be able to do those activities not only at that home, but it should be at the school setup. Okay. We also collaborate with the parents, so this all skills should be trained or practiced at the home setting too, so that all are um, people who are involved in the child, okay, practice in the throughout the various sector, the child will be more generalized, the more like kind of practice many often time and become a regular routine of the day. So by these notes, I am ending off this my lecture slides, and I hope you got some glimpse of the occupation therapist, the roles in the school setup. So I hope if you have any kind of challenges in your child, or if the therapists are seeing my slides, they from the other professionals, they can be reach out to the occupational therapy help if they feel the child is deficient in sort of various skills. Okay, they refer to them. The parents, they feel they should approach the therapist and get the a professional advice. Okay, so thank you so much once again for the invitations, and I hope and I wish once again happy World Down Syndrome Day. And we have every child is special. So at the end I say that they have the different challenges, but they have the various strength. So we should not forget about the strength what they have, and we flourish their strength. And everybody has some sort of weakness. So if they have, we acknowledge their weakness too, and we make sure that those sort of the downfall, we should, as a therapist, as the parents, we make sure that we should provide appropriate support to them. So definitely there will be one of them among like one of us like that, and they will be definitely do their best in their life in future. Okay. So by this note, I thank you so much.